Hi everyone, David here from daviddumaisaudio.com, and in this video I want to show you how you can create your own spaceship blast off sound effect. So I was thinking something along the lines of like the Star Wars blast off when they go into like hyperspace or something like that. Yeah, so this is what we're going to do in this video, but if you haven't checked the description yet, make sure to check it out. I'll have a free little sound pack of various different blast off sound effects in there that you can use free in whatever project or in whatever way you want to use it. So let's jump into our project now. All right, so before we actually get started, I'm just going to play our sound effect here so you guys have an idea of what we're creating and how we're going to create it. So here we go. All right, so that's the sound effect that I created. So how did I do that? So let's start from the top here. So what I did is I had an engine sound here. So this is what it sounds like. Actually, I'm going to turn these effects off first. So this is the engine sound that I'm going to use for this effect. If you haven't seen a video, I'm actually going to post in the cards above on the top right video of how I created these, spaceship engine sounds. So I made a short video about that, so you can go check it out. But this is the sound I'm going to use to create this blast off sound effect. So, using this sound, something like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert Traveler on here. So I'm going to insert Traveler. So Traveler is a Doppler effect plugin by the company called Tunstorm. So I'm going to put it, so right now it's on granular mode. I'm going to put live input. So it's going to take my live feed from the synth here. Okay, so now I can play the synth and it's playing, but I haven't pressed play yet, so that's why you're not hearing anything. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press play. I'm going to make sure I'm over here. So that's over here. And let's listen to what we have. Okay, so this is the sound I'm getting here. So it's quite tonal, this one, but it's still going to work. And so I'll do it once with this idea. What I did with these other ones is I used different engine sounds or different samples to create these different layers. And I'm going to go through each layers afterwards, so you guys can see kind of what it sounds like. But yeah, so this is how I did it. So what I did here is with Traveler here, I put in different dots, so you can double click to create a dot like this, or right click to take it off. And then I created this pattern, and it's kind of a circular pattern, and you could probably leave it as like a circle or something like that. Like it could probably be, actually take that off, something like this. But the idea is that you want to have the listener, which is the red dot here, be close to a point of like where the Doppler is going to turn. So that's what's going to create this big shift in pitch. So if I press play and play something, right? So as soon as it turns around in this corner, that's when you get this like big impact because of the Doppler effect. So that's how you can create these cool sounds. I mean, you can also create impact sounds using this. I can maybe change the speed and get a different sound. Right, so that's how I did it. Now, what I did is I added a few other effects here. So I added some distortion, just trash here. So if I play this now, right, just makes it a bit grittier. I had recenter on just to make sure the sound is centered. Don't really need it, but it's there. I also had some synth here to add some more bass. That's quite heavy, so I can lower that a little bit. I also had entropy EQ. So I use this. I like to use this usually for like gunshots or something like that. It just adds a bit more tonal punch to the sound. So if I play it now, it's very subtle. It's very subtle. I'm not using it very hard. And then I have a little bit of transient taper. Again, very subtle, just a bit of attack. And then on snap heap, I just had a pitch shifter, just a pitch shift down, and you can see the mix is at 50%. And then I'm going to turn that off. And then I have it here parallel processed. So one is down 12%, and then I have another one down 12%, but going through a reverb. So with this on now, it just sounds like it's more in a room, in a space, rather than this really dry sound. So that's what this is helping do. Okay. And then down here, I'm probably just cleaning up some of the sounds here. I don't even know if I ended up using this, but let's listen. No. So this, actually, I used this specific filter. So this is just an EQ, and I filtered out all the high end because I just wanted the bass. And I used this for one of the layers when I was designing my sound here because I just wanted a bass like rumble. Right, I just wanted the bass rumble to have that feel of the spaceship like having left, and this just like the remains of that sound. So that's what I use this for. Okay, so that's how I created the sound. Relatively simple. And maybe I can show you guys another way of doing it. So I'm going to actually import another sound effect in here, another patch, and then I'll do it again, and then we'll have a listen. All right, so I have this other patch here. This is another just effect I created. I called it my water motor sound effect. It sounds like this. I'm going to turn off all the effects here. That's the sound. Again, another motor sound. And then now turn everything back on with Traveler here, and this. Right, so again, you have the same idea, the same kind of blast off sound, but it sounds different this time because it's a different sound. So let's go through each of these layers so you can hear what each of these is doing. And as you'll see here, like I barely have any effects, if any, on these. So this is the first one here. Right, so this one, what I did in order to not have a lot of tail on the sound. So whenever I was playing with Traveler here, what I did is I turned the attenuation up, and what that does is when the yellow dot, which is the sound source, is further away, it actually completely attenuates it. So that's how I was able to get that. So if I leave it there, you can still hear it a little bit, and then if I go up to 100%, you actually can't hear it at all when it's the furthest point away. So that's how I did this sound here. And then here, there's another one. And again, if you look here, just cut off all the highs because I really wanted this to be a bassy layer. Another one here. Right, so if you just try to import like different samples, that's how I'm getting all these different sounds. Like they're all kind of similar, but they all sound a bit different because I'm using different synth sounds, different synth patches that I created. Also, I don't remember what I used, but I definitely used some sample that I had imported and like looped the sample, and then I created this sound using this. This is the tail again that I showed earlier. It's just a bass rumble. And then this one here. Again, a kind of a more synthesized layer. And then altogether, it creates the sound. All right, so that's how I created the sound. Again, using Traveler, putting the listener right at the point where there's a curve in the Doppler effect. So you want to make sure that there's a tight curve if you're using Traveler. If you're not using Traveler, I'm not sure if it would work the exact same way. Just Traveler I just know it works in Traveler. It's a lot more flexible because you can actually do the path this way. Yeah, I haven't actually tried it with other Doppler effects, but with Doppler, it works really well this way. So yeah, just want to make sure the listener is near a curve. At a point in the curve, and it's a tight curve so that the sound source just comes and goes really fast. And then that's pretty much it. Like you can even try, so I had another one here, like a loop. And this, I think this was a magic spell sound effect that I had in here. So if I play this. Right, you get that exact same sound. There you go. So again, using different samples. So the magic spell sound effect. I had a spell in here or a whoosh or something like that I put in here, and that worked really well. So that's what I used as one of the layers. All right. So yeah, once you have that, you can just export different versions of it. Export. Or process them differently, like make sure one of them is like your higher layer, so maybe cut out some of the bass. The other ones cut out some of the highs because you want it to be strictly for the bass. And then I had just this tail sound, and then kind of layer them together, have different versions of it, and then you get this finalized sound. All right, so I think that's it for this video. I hope you guys found that useful, valuable, and helpful. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And just a reminder to check out the description for that free sound pack. I'll probably put a couple of like a Spaceship blast off sound effects in there for you guys for free. So yeah, I think that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.